Hey guys, how are you all doing? I'm back with another video. Let's start off with what I'm carrying today. Since this is Sunday, I'm carrying something that's a little bit classier. This is a polished Stag GEC 85 Easy Open with a spear point. This was the last run they did this year. Pretty cool knife, fairly dressy, but that's what I'm carrying today. Why do I have these knives laid out on the table in this fashion? It looks like a random hodgepodge of knives. I thought this was kind of over with, at least for me, the specific conversation I'm going to talk to you about, but I had a comment in my video last weekend. By the time you guys see this, this will have been going on for about 2 weeks. Last weekend, a guy, he was asking when was I going to post a video about my Bailout HRC results, the Rockwell results. And I said, you know, I kind of thought that already run its course, both on Blade Forums and on Instagram. He said, well, you know, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, so on and so forth. So here I am making the video. So I know that's going to be the first question a lot of you ask, you know, why are you beating a dead horse? I didn't plan on making this video, guys. This was a request of someone, and I think they have a valid point. Not everybody has the platforms that I've been communicating this information on. So that kind of frames everything in perspective. So let's back up. You guys saw me get a Bailout maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. When you see this video 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I got the knife, did a quick overview of it, you know, had a lot of good things to say, good promising things to say. A lot of people immediately said, tough steel, ultralight handle, plastic handle, just doesn't make any sense. For me, what I wanted this knife to be was a backup, use it like I stole it, not care about it, just beat the living daylights out of it type of backup blade to my Striders. Just something I could tuck away in another pocket. And you know, if I had an extra dirty job that I just wanted to use a knife like I didn't care and get it done, this would fill that role. So I ended up buying the knife, got the knife, like I said, did the video. Then I posted a video where I said having a little bit of fun with the Bailout. And in that video, I stuck it in a popcorn tin, a holiday popcorn tin, and twisted it to show people that this handle stuff they talk about is, I don't think it's as much of an issue as people make it out to be. But in the process, the knife showed very little edge stability, and it rolled. You can still see one of the rolls there, I believe, on camera. So that kind of caught the attention of one of my buddies that happens to work at a place that does Rockwell testing. He said, man, I really want to check out a Bailout. You send it to me, I'll get to check the knife out. I'll test it. You know, we do some high-end testing, very accurate machines. I'll get you some numbers back. It's a win-win. I said, no problem, man. Shipped it off to him, got it back. He tested it twice. I don't know which one was the first test, and I don't know which one was the second test, but you can see there's a dimple in front of the V. You can see there's a dimple on the tang of the blade. So the knife tested with the first test, it tested at 55.8 HRC. The second test, it tested at 56. So that showed exactly why that edge had little to no stability. 3V is a steel that really shines in that 58 to 60. Most people will tell you 60 HRC range. Well, Benchmade decided to treat it well below that. I believe their rated spec is 55 to 58, 58 being the absolute highest. So once I got my knife back, I made a post on Instagram, and that kind of drew a lot of attention back and forth. We were talking. I did tag Benchmade into that conversation. I didn't directly ask them for interaction or anything like that. They didn't give me any interaction. So my information, as well as several other people's information, where they were showing pretty similar results to what I was showing, poor edge retention, easy rolling, so on and so forth, characteristics of a steel that was heat treated below its optimum range to give you the performance you should expect out of the steel. That was copied and pasted over into a summative type of post on Blade Forums. So we had two different conversations going on, one going on my Instagram page, one going on the Blade Forum page. So at that point, a few days had passed, maybe 2 days had passed, 3 days had passed, and I sent an email to Benchmade saying, hey, I got the knife, liked the knife, used the knife, noticed some issues with edge stability, sent it off to get it tested. It tested at 55.8 and 56 I believe, yeah, 55.8 and 56. You know, if you look at the website for the manufacturer of this steel, they recommend 60. If you look around at more specific knife related charts of this steel, I haven't found anything, and no custom maker or any person that deals in heat treatment has said that they would treat this steel under 58. Just kind of wondering, you know, why would you treat this steel? Because this is a black class knife, by the way, guys. So let's see. Right there, black class. This is a black class knife. So that means that this knife is meant to be used by professionals. So why would you treat a steel that low that is gonna have very low edge stability and even less wear resistance? Because 3V in and of itself isn't known for its excellent wear resistance. It's known for its excellent impact resistance. Anyway, I got a response back from a guy named Troy, and Troy basically said that, you know, the first line, he said, you know, we apologize for taking so long to get back to you. Like I said, I never reached out to them until 2 or 3 days after in an email. So that kind of surprised me, because that let me know they were watching my Instagram post and just didn't reply for whatever reason until I sent them an email. So anyway, and I'll show all this stuff at the end. I'll put it all at the end. I don't think you guys want to read all that right now. But for those of you that do, and for full transparency, wait until the end of the video. It'll all be there so you can pause it and read all the emails in their entirety for yourself. So anyway, Troy responds back. You know, he apologizes for taking so long to get the response to me. He does understand where I'm coming from an EDC standpoint. I don't know if it's on here. Oh yeah, it's right here. It says everyday and tactical as the use case for this knife. So right there, you're telling me you understand where I'm coming from an everyday carry standpoint, but you're making it sound like this is not an everyday carry knife. But your box and your website, which I copied and pasted in my reply, say everyday and tactical. Everyday being listed first, both on the website and here. Found that very interesting. So he goes on to say, you know, they purposely treated the knife steel low. And they purposely did that so that way it would have increased toughness and it would be easy to sharpen. Again, and I challenge you guys to go out and do your own research. You can't find a chart that recommends this steel being treated below 58. It doesn't exist. So again, that really didn't make a lot of sense. Again, with the type of steel that this is and higher carbon / tool steels in general, you guys will know they're not difficult to sharpen. A higher HRC is not going to make this steel harder to sharpen. And he specifically said field sharpening. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but you can get like a $20 DMT diafold from Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, and you can have a diamond stone in your pocket. So I don't really get that comment either, but that's kind of the response that I got. And then at the end, it basically said that, you know, we know that this knife and every knife is not going to serve everyone's needs. So this is a purpose-built knife, and we're sorry it doesn't fit your purpose. Keep in mind, guys, like I said, this is a black, let's get into focus. This is a black class knife, which means for professional use. In their promotions, they show like military law enforcement type guys. So hard use, quote unquote. And it is marketed as an everyday carry / tactical knife. But he said that it's not an everyday carry knife. But he understands where I'm coming from an everyday carry standpoint, and that it's basically serving a certain purpose for a certain group, but that purpose doesn't make any sense for the group they're saying it's marketed to. So anyway, I reply back and basically say all of those things, you know, and at the end of it, I just ask him, because if you go back and you look at my Instagram, if you look at the Blade Forums post, if you just kind of look around at the other people's posts, the general consensus is everybody thinks that this knife being treated the way it has been is less than optimal. I guess that's the best way to put it. So I just asked them to consider what their customer base is showing them that they want. And it's not what they have put in our hands. Now, I have not heard back from Benchmade. I didn't, in the email, I told the guy I don't expect him to exchange emails constantly back and forth. This is not a Benchmade specific thing. That's why these knives are here. I'll get to that in a second. The whole purpose of this is just to bring awareness to everyone that we've not always been getting steels that are being pressed into the appropriate roll for that steel type. And this is a key example at the moment. 3V at 55, 56 Rockwell is not well used. Something that Benchmade does very well, which is 154 CM. A lot of people brought that up about Emerson using their 154 CM in that manner, treated at that 56 ballpark range for toughness and ease of sharpening in the field for operators. Would have been a much better steel choice. It would have been cheaper, and it would have been it would have fit better, especially with Benchmade, because Benchmade is known for 154 CM. Benchmade has done 154 CM for years. However, you know, you can't slap a black class label on a knife and tactical and say it's 154 CM and it be as sexy. That's not sexy. 3V is though. So there's a little bit of concern about the marketing, to say the least. Now, why do I have all these knives here? In the process, a lot of people were saying, oh, you can't test it with the coating on the blade. That alters the Rockwell reading, so on and so forth. Well, I'll show you at the end of this, like I said, where Benchmade said the Rockwell is low. So even though that argument is kind of moot at that point, this knife in particular, since it's already been tested, it is going to be stripped, at least partially, and it's going to be tested again. So we'll know what it reads with and without a coating on the same exact knife. This knife is from another Instagrammer, and this person wants me just to test their knife, or have their knife tested just to see where it falls. Again, we already know that Benchmade admitted they tested the knives, they treated the knives to run soft. So I don't have high expectations, but we'll have a sample size of 2 at that point. So we'll be building a database. One of the big stinks that came up when I put this information out there was, you know, basically you're beating up Benchmade, stop beating up Benchmade, 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 Benchmade. This is not a Benchmade thing. This project has been going on for months before I became part of it, and there have been lots of knives that have been tested. They're just not my knives, so I don't speak on those tests. I'm bringing you guys the information I have. So with that being said, early this week, I'm going to be sending out, or by the time you guys see this, it will have been a week. I will have sent these knives, all of them, out for testing. This is Crewwear by Spyderco. This is M4, Rex 45, Super Blue, and regular old S30V. These 2 knives, this one will be retested. This one will be tested for the first time. Following these tests, I'm going to then send in my 3V Strider SA fixed blade, and I'm going to send in my Hinderer Fire Attack in 20 CV. So we're building a whole database of information, guys. This is not brand specific. This is industry specific. We want to make sure that the products that we're getting in hand really match up to what we think we're buying. And that has been a whole different conversation. And even one guy told me, you know, it really doesn't even matter if it lives up, if the steel lives up to what we think we're buying, because 90% of people, or let me not quote a number, a lot of people don't even use their knives. They just take pictures with them. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't want to be taken advantage of just because I don't necessarily beat my knife, which you guys know I do use my knives, but just saying, just me. When I put money out, especially if I'm paying a premium and $144 for this, I think you are paying for that 3V steel. I want to know that I'm getting what I think I'm getting, even if I don't use it. So that's the conversation that's been going on. I have more information for you guys once I get these Spyderco knives back and these Benchmade knives back. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife. Stay tuned if you want to read the emails for yourself.